Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. In this one, I'll be reviewing Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2, the sequel to the cult classic from 2004. The original game is one of the most sophisticated RPGs ever made. Your choice of clan makes every playthrough completely unique, and I mean truly unique, not the kind of shallow choices that modern games advertise. Real, major changes happen depending on who you play as. For example, when you play as a Nosferatu, you can't really appear in public due to your appearance, while as a Malkavian, you get entirely different, almost schizophrenic dialogue options. So following up on such a deep, legendary games was no easy task. Maybe that's why it took 20 years for a sequel to finally come out. Did the developers pull it off, or is this a total disaster? Let's find out together. Story. Let's start with the story. The good and the bad. I have to say, the story is one of the stronger parts of the game, and I quite enjoyed it. It's definitely better than most video game stories out there. You play as an elder vampire named Fire, who awakens from a long slumber in Seattle in the year 2024. On their hand, there is a strange symbol that limits their powers. And that's not all. In their head lives the voice of a detective named Fabian, who is physically dead but somehow continues to exist through fire. The protagonist must quickly adapt to the new world, meet the new key players of Seattle's vampire elite, and decide who to trust, who to help, and who to destroy. Fire also investigates the mysterious symbol on their hand, as well as Fabian's death. As you can tell, the story is quite layered, and it definitely won't bore you. Discovering the power players of Seattle's vampire hierarchy and uncovering the mysteries surrounding them and yourself will probably keep you more entertained than most other parts of the game. The dynamic between Fire and the voice in her head, Fabian, is what carries the whole story. It's similar to the dynamic between V and Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk 2077. Personally, I love this type of storytelling, when the protagonist is constantly interacting with an inner companion who offers a different perspective on everything. It allows the writers to explore multiple angles of every situation and give the players something to think about. Unfortunately, most other characters fall flat. They range from just okay to downright cringe. This brings us to the story's biggest weakness: dialogue. While I praise the story as a whole, the dialogue of the side characters, basically everyone except Fire and Fabian, really drags it down. You won't be covering your ears the entire time, though there are some moments where you might want to. The worst offender of this, in my opinion, is Tolly, a snarky Nosferatu who, instead of feeling like a witty immortal, comes across as a smug American liberal. On the other hand, I really like the character Sophia, a vampire scientist serving the city's elite. She was actually pretty well written. The story entertained me for most of its duration, but unfortunately, the writers didn't stick the landing. I won't spoil anything, but the ending just didn't stick. Everything that happened in the story hinged on one character's strange behavior, and I couldn't help but think, did she really have to do all that just for this? The story also reflects the reduced RPG mechanics compared to the first game. Your dialogue choices determine which ending you get. I got an ending I didn't like, and based on what I've seen online, most endings aren't very satisfying. I would have preferred clearer choices that affect the ending through your actions, not just dialogue that accidentally leads you to an ending you didn't want. Gameplay mechanics. Now we get to the most controversial aspect of the game: how the developers followed up, or rather didn't, on the original. Almost all the RPG depth of the first game is gone. Your gender choice doesn't matter. You can romance anyone regardless. Your clan choice barely matters either. It's mentioned a few times in dialogue, but that's it. Clan choice gives you a few starting abilities, but soon it becomes meaningless because by drinking mortal blood, you earn points that let you unlock every ability in the game, along with new outfits. So don't expect any unique playthroughs like in the first Bloodlines. Everything plays out the same except for a few dialogue options which aren't interesting enough to make you want to replay the game. You can choose your vampire's gender, hairstyle, face, piercings and eyes. At first I couldn't even change the face. It only unlocked once I got more outfits. Outfits are tied to your abilities. Early on, I couldn't find a single outfit that looked good on my character. It depends on luck. Your clan and gender affect what you can get. I do appreciate that you can make an attractive character, which is rare these days, but still, most customization options are ugly. At least for female characters. I can't speak for male ones. So what do you actually do in this game? You run around the city, fight enemies, and occasionally drink blood. Of these three, the traversal is the best part. You can run on the streets, but it's slow. So if you want to move fast, you have to climb up on the rooftops. You can climb just anywhere. You need pipes or fire escapes to reach the top. Once you're up there, you can sprint at supernatural speed and even glide a bit. It's fun and really makes you feel like an unstoppable vampire. Combat can be approached in two ways, openly or stealthy. On hard difficulties, stealth becomes essential because combat is hard. Not because it's deep or challenging in a good way, but because it's clunky. Once detected, all enemies rush you at once, which is realistic, but annoying. You'll often get surrounded and forced to retreat, picking them off one by one. Combat options are limited. Light attack, heavy attack and dodge. I wouldn't even have known about parrying if I hadn't read loading screen tip, which is bizarre. Some enemy types are poorly balanced, especially large enemies with ranged weapons. The only real way to beat them is with powers, like the kiss, which turns them to your side temporarily. Telekinesis also helps. You can use fallen enemies' weapons against them, which adds a bit of fun. Side quests are very repetitive. Go there and fetch this or kill that guy. The only reason to do them is for XP and meeting romanceable characters. Relationships seem to depend on dialogue choices rather than quantity. Pick the wrong like and the romance is locked out. The sexy scenes are just black screens with sound. The most interesting romance is with Mrs. Thorne, an old vampire lady offering occult experiments. The rest aren't really worth pursuing. There's also the Masquerade mechanic. You can't use your powers or feat in public, or the alert meter fills up. If it turns red, the police come after you, and if it maxes out, it's an instant death. But it's really easy to avoid. Just run to the rooftops until things calm down. The police are harmless. You can hear a helicopter sound effect, but there are no actual choppers, just background noise. Another missed opportunity is your apartment. When you first enter, it's in awful shape, and I thought I'd be able to clean it up and customize it as the game progresses. Nope, it stays the same trash heap the entire time. Map and the world. This, along with the story, is one of the game's strongest points. Snowy Seattle with neon signs glowing through the winter fog look amazing. The atmosphere is spot on. Interiors look great too, with excellent lighting and reflections. My favorite location was Sophia's lab, bathed in red light. Every time you move through the city, you'll enjoy the visuals. It's just a shame that the same level of polish didn't make it into the gameplay. But it's not perfect. The city, while gorgeous, feels empty. The map is small and I expect it to expand later. Maybe a side quest in the Washington woods involving werewolves or something. But no. Over time you realize how dead the map really is. Despite the visuals, there is nothing to discover. No hidden spots or secrets worth finding. There are collectibles, but they are a chore to collect, and the reward is just a small dialogue line and some XP. Technical performance. It looks great, but the cost is performance. The game stutters, even on my pretty powerful PC. Specs in the video description. What's funny is that right after the release, modders released a performance mod that fixed a lot of these issues. People who installed it report much smoother gameplay. This game was in development for 6 years. How is it possible that modders could optimize it better than the actual developers? Soundtrack. Another strong point. The soundtrack is inspired by the first game, which surely helped designers, but they nailed it. Whenever I was in my base, I turned on the radio and just listened for a while. That's how good it is. But there's a problem. The radio is locked behind a DLC, which is just ridiculous. But anyway, usually I don't even notice the game music, so if I'm pointing out and praising it, that means it's really well done. Verdict: Bloodlines 2 is an unworthy successor to the 2004 original. The stripped-down RPG mechanics will disappoint not only fans of the first game, but RPG fans in general. Compared directly to the original, it's a huge letdown. Judged as a standalone title, it fares a bit better, but repetitive combat and limited story choices still hurt the experience. Its strong world, atmosphere and partially solid story can make up for the rest. My score: 6 out of 10. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you thought of the game. See you next time.